Hour of Tandem HR. You are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit." We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And business, we talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. We've got an all-star lineup of guests. This week, we will be joined by guest commissioner Deborah Shore, Bruce Leon of Tandem HR, Paul Miller of the Pauly Group, and Tony Shemeka of the Going Home with Tony radio show. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you won't want to miss. It's a live show. This week, we're talking about the environment, and you can call in with your questions at 312-642-5600. Once again, 312-642-5600. And at the end of the show, I'm going to be sharing tips on how you can have better phone meetings. You are listening to Get Down to Business, the show that is all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We are powered by Tandem HR, and we've got the president of Tandem HR and Benefit Solutions Group, Bruce Leon, on the line with us. Welcome to Get Down to Business, Bruce.
Hello, Shalom. How are you?
Fantastic. So you're skipping a moment of the big game to join us and talk about what's going on in the world of HR. So I know one of the things that you and I talk a great deal about is how folks in their 50s, 60s that are trying to get back into the workforce need to reinvent themselves. Bruce, what do you have to say on it?
You know, Shalom, I've been noticing a trend recently, and I've been getting down to writing a white paper, and I just feel that as much as we hear about the very solid job market and we hear good numbers coming out of both Illinois and the nation as a whole, there still is an angst that's out there, and I'm noticing it a lot in the mid-level and senior managers, and many of whom are looking at how tremendous change is taking place literally overnight in whatever field you're in, whether it's not just technology, it could be healthcare. There isn't really one field that isn't touched right now. And people are sort of looking at somebody coming down the pike who's maybe 30 years old, who is in tune with a different way of doing things, whether it's mobile apps or whatever it is. And there's a certain, there's a change in the workforce where in our day, or my day, I should say, you know, we looked up to we mentored with older people. We kind of learned experience was very important. Nowadays, it's really changing, and I think it's causing a lot of angst in the workforce. And my advice to those people in that age bracket is that you have to really think, how am I relevant today? What can I do to make sure that I'm relevant tomorrow? Am I a cost-value proposition? And not just to think, just because it's been done that way for the last 25 years, it's going to still be done that way 25 years from now.
People need to be innovative in their approach and innovative in how they present themselves. And it is that's exactly what businesses need to do as well in always reinventing themselves. What are you seeing from your clients? How is 2015 turning out to be different than 2014 and years prior?
Well, we're seeing a very strong pipeline for our services, and there's been a number of public companies that are doing very well. Administaff has been significantly up in the last quarter, as well as TriNet, and a lot of it is the perception that to run a business today with under 100 employees or even under 200 employees, it takes significant administrative help. There's so many compliance issues that are out there today, and it just seems to make more and more sense to look for outsourcing to do it. And we're trying to make sure that we're on the leading edge of what we need to provide, make sure that our product meets the needs of the marketplace. And we've had usually the first quarter is a slow quarter for us. January has been the best month that we've ever had in the history of the company in 13 years, and that usually is one of the slowest months of the year. So we're hoping that that's an indication that these trends will continue for the future.
And folks that are trying to learn more about Tandem HR don't need to try very hard during this hour of Get Down to Business. Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR, so you're always hearing the testimonials from customers like CD Peacock and Get Fresh Produce that are talking about what I always hear is the high-touch business model, the unbundled billing, and the customized HR solutions. So what does that mean? Customization is very important. So what that means to me is that you're not just trying to shove one package or one model down somebody's throat. Tell us some examples of how that model has worked well for customers that you work with.
Well, so that's a great question, and I'll tell you that there's business owners out there, they know they struggle with this. We offer a customized solution because we feel, especially in the Midwest, that's what the market demands, but it's a very difficult solution to administer. So in other words, if you were to force everybody to take one health plan or take one 401k plan, from an administrative, it's a very efficient model. They call your helpline, and everybody knows it. But not every not every company wants exactly the same health. So we try to make it customized, which then adds a challenge to us to make sure that we can service it properly and we can provide it without driving our costs up. So that's a challenge. But we feel that the market really demands us not just to give one cookie cutter approach for all the services we provide, but to look at each client and say, okay, this one needs emphasis in this area, this one needs this one has special reasons why they can't go on our platform for payroll services but needs our HR services. So in all, we try to make sure that we fill the needs of the customer, even if it doesn't provide the most efficient solution for us.
So Bruce, as you look to determine a customized HR solution for each of your customers, what are the pieces that is, I just said, are unbundled? In your mind, what are the components of HR solutions that companies need to be looking out for, whether they partner with an organization like Tandem HR or somebody else in the business?
Absolutely. So the six main components that we really feel the marketplace is consolidating to what we call a one-source solution, and many of the big payroll companies are offering it now, and you'll see a lot of the insurance companies. So it really boils down to payroll services, which really that's the platform for which everything drives through, and that's managed payroll services. And then health insurance, of course, to buy that in a pooled package that can be purchased with the buying power of 10 or 11,000 employees. Then workers' compensation and risk management services, and we're seeing a lot of that becoming important. Then the pension and retirement services, that's also a big deal to let our customers get off the fiduciary and to give them a very cost-effective solution that lets them bundle in with $140 million of other providers. And then, of course, HR services, which encompass everything from leadership training to onboarding to recruiting to coaching to just compliance and all that stuff. So that's one of the main pillars, and that's one of the ones that we really sort of believe that we need to have people in the offices of our customers really making a difference, not to be reactive but proactive to make a difference.
Excellent. 6 components to HR solutions, and you take an unbundled approach in helping your customers, which is important. So talking about HR solutions, a lot of what you do is organizational development, people management, benefit and administration. Speaking of that, tomorrow morning, most likely the roads will hopefully be a little bit more clear, but it's still going to be difficult to get to work. What advice do you have for employers that are listening to Get Down to Business right now that perhaps they can do something a little special for the employees coming to the office after a hard and long commute?
Well, I can tell you that I got an email about a half an hour ago from our senior COO and our internal HR. We have about 130 employees, so I don't think we're different than a lot of other companies out there. We have people that come from everywhere from 5-minute commute to Westchester, Oakbrook area to many people that have a 45 minutes to an hour. We know tomorrow's going to be tough, so we sent an email out saying that people should prepare their day accordingly. They shouldn't take extra risks. If they can work at home and that works out, they can make arrangements for that, make sure that they cover whatever they need to cover or get in the office. We don't want anybody taking the undue risk. If the roads are unsafe, we advise them, please stay at home, and we're going to figure out ways to connect. All of our employees have abilities to connect from their homes and from their mobiles. That's one of the ways that we've sort of separate ourselves from from our competition, that we want all of our people to be connected. And while there is a value to having our people in the office to work on problems on days like tomorrow, and we think it's actually going to spill over into Tuesday, we want the safety of our employees is utmost. And I think that what the employers should think about tomorrow is really letting employees know that their safety is the utmost of their concern, and that they should use their best judgment in getting to work tomorrow, especially if they use public transportation and stuff like that to watch and see how those things are going to be affected as well.
That's helpful, and hopefully all of the employers listening to Get Down to Business will take that advice in mind. Send out an email. I actually, as I was on my way over here, I read or heard a comment that a big part of leadership is communication, and I think that that's so important. So show leadership, send some communication out to your employees, let them know how much you appreciate them, and most importantly, let them know that they should be safe and that you support that and encourage that. I agree with you, Bruce. Obviously, having people in the office is important. It's probably much more productive. At the same time, these days with technology, you could do a lot of great things. In fact, at the end of the program, I'm going to be sharing some tips on how people can have a productive phone meeting. Maybe that's something you can employ tomorrow. So, Bruce, how can people reach you?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say, if we can talk about innovation, anybody watching the Super Bowl today, the best commercial so far, I think, was an old one of Brent Gumbel and Julie Cook. Can you believe in 1991, they were asking, what is the Internet? And they were asking, what is that A sign with a circle around it? And how the heck does that work for males? What a crazy thing. And when you're watching that in retrospect, it really gives you a pause, how much we've come in just 20 years and so, right? So that's what it's all about. Things are changing. We got to make sure we keep up with the innovation and listening to Get Down to Business and taking the advice of Shalom Klein. And hopefully we can all be a part of helping everybody get improved innovation. Of course, you can always get a hold of us at tandemhr.com. And my cell phone is 312-925-0718. Love to hear from listeners in any way I can be of help. Again, we're just trying to help make business better in Chicago.
Fantastic. Thanks, Bruce Leon of Tandem HR. You can find them at tandemhr.com. After the break, we're talking with Paulie Miller to hear what to expect from the Rauner administration over the coming months. You're listening to Get Down to Business.
For the past 100 years, R.B. Hayward Company has been a leader in the Chicagoland HVAC sheet metal industry. Hayward has installed ventilation systems in landmark Chicago buildings like the Field Museum and Northwestern University. In 2001, we made the decision to partner with Tandem HR. For the past 13 years, we have received expert assistance with our HR, payroll, and benefits functions. Outsourcing these functions to Tandem allows Hayward to focus on what we do best, serving our customers and growing our core business. If you're looking for an HR outsourcing expert, we encourage you to contact Tandem. If you need a heating, ventilating, air conditioning expert, give us a call. R.B. Hayward Company at 847-671-0400 or on the web at haywardhvac.com.
Tandem HR serves as your one-stop high-touch HR solution. Call 630-928-0510 or visit tandemhr.com.